Impulse, overconfidence, bravado. These words, Thrivesters, can mean different things in different contexts. And today I'm talking about the danger in acting on impulse, acting when you're overconfident, and acting when you have maybe too much bravado. I love these words most of the time. I don't love them when we're talking about you making the move and making the move before you're really ready and before you know that you're ready. I've seen this happen time and time again with clients. They get excited, they're ready to make the move. They want to tell their boss to take this job and shove it. They want to launch their business. They want to make the big life change and retire and do all the things they want to do. And also, they are not ready. There's a difference between being ready and wanting to be ready. And it may sound counterintuitive for a coach who works with women on these big transitions. And I need you to understand there is a way to know when you are ready. And there is a very big danger in making the move, the positive life disrupting move that you know is right for you or that you're thinking is right for you before you're ready to make the move. And today, I'm popping in here to break it down for you. I'm providing 3 ways to know when you're ready and what to do when you're not. So, without further delay, Thrivesters, let's do this. Welcome to the Thrive Hive podcast, the place where success meets reinvention and nothing, I mean nothing, is off limits. I'm your host, Nancy Medoff, speaker, coach, best-selling author, and former corporate VP who knows firsthand what it means to leave a wildly successful career behind, to build a dream business and life, then blow it all up again when it's simply no longer enough. Here, we don't wait for permission to feel free. We talk about reinvention, aligned ambition, managing our energy, boundaries, and the power of surrounding yourself with the right women. This is not a networking group. It's not a therapy session. This is a space for elevated, honest conversations about business, life, and what it really means to thrive. So if you're ready to stop carrying it alone, ready to connect with women who get you, and ready to design what's next with clarity and confidence, come on in. This is your space. This is your time. Welcome to the Hive. What is up, Thrivesters? I am so psyched about today's episode. This is like a calling that's come to me over the past few weeks. So I'm going to jump right in. We are talking about how to know when you're ready for this level up, whatever that looks like for you, and how to be patient when you're not. And patience is a skill that I envy in others. I don't have a lot of it. I wish I had more. I do. Not going to lie. I'm going to be honest. I wish I was more patient. I'm not. It's just who I am. It's a work in progress. So let me get to why this is a calling for me to talk about this subject this week. Couple of things happened. So I live in New England and I live on Cape Cod, and we are surrounded by pine trees. And there's a reason why I'm telling you this. In New England, at the end of spring, just before summer, we have a season, what I like to call the pollinating, Pollening. This is when the pollen comes down from the trees in a snowstorm-like manner. And I am not exaggerating. If you live here and you listen to this, you know what I'm talking about. So it's green pollen that falls all over everything. It falls on the cars, it falls on the grass, it falls on your body. It is everywhere. There is no escaping it. It's messy, makes you sneeze, many people. I was out to dinner last night with a friend and he said, I feel so run down. I don't understand it. And I'm like, it's the pollen. You were out all day today. His eyes were hurting anyway. So here's why I'm telling you this. We have a 3-season porch and I haven't redone the windows yet. So in the winter, we have windows that we physically remove and replace with screens in the summer. And every May, every like late April, early May, when the weather starts getting nice, I want to put the screens in. I want to put the screens in. I want to put the screens in. I say to Danny, come on, let's put the screens in. I want to put the screens in. And every year he says, honey, if you put the screens in now, you're going to regret it. Here's why. When I put the screens in before the pollinating occurs, my intent here is to make it a beautiful, breezy porch. We change out the throw pillows. I change out the wall hangings. It's a beautiful, it's a fun little spot to relax in. It's sunny. It's beautiful. It's surrounded by the flowers and the garden and the trees. It's lovely. And if I don't wait and I put the screens in too early, the pollen comes in. I mean, we're talking sheets. It's like green sheets falling from the sky. The pollen comes in, comes through the screens, and will annihilate everything in that room. It will take days to clean it up. I have had this happen before. So every year I say I want to put the screens in. Every year, Danny tells me I'm going to regret it if I do that. And this reminds me of when you jump into something before you're ready, or when you really want to do something and you're not ready and you have to redo it. And I was talking to a friend and I was using this analogy. This is like life. So, for example, when a one on one client comes to me and let's say it's for a career change, which is a lot of what I do, they'll come to me, they'll say, well, I've updated my resume and now I need your help to really pivot my career. And so they end up having to redo the resume. Why would you jump into your resume, doing your resume, before you know what it is that you want to go get, what kind of job you want to go get or career you want to be in? You're going to customize your resume for that career. So they end up having to redo it, which is what happens when I don't wait and I put the screens in and then I clean everything up. It looks great. The pollinating happens and then I have to redo everything. And it wastes time. It's frustrating and I know better. So I am trying to be more patient when it comes to the screens and the pollen. So this is why I thought I would talk about this week. Because it reminds me of, when you have this itch, you want to do something. Maybe you want to make your side hustle a full-time gig. Maybe maybe you're getting ready to send your kids off to school and you want to do something different with your time while they're at school or camp or whatever. Maybe you want to quit your job and go find a career that lights you up. All of these things are fantastic life changes. They are positively disruptive life changes. And if you leap and do this before you're ready, you're going to have to redo a lot. This happened to me in my business. And if you own a business, I'm coaching a client right now. And I'm purposely going very slowly with her because I don't want her to have to go redo it. And that's what'll happen if you go down that path without really being ready. So many people think it's like an on-off switch. You think, then you're ready. Boom. Lights on, lights off, whatever the case may be. Think of it like a dimmer switch. And it's a dimmer switch that you're turning up. So you don't go from dark to being in the bright light. You go up incrementally and slowly, and then you get used to that new lighting, and then slowly again and slowly again. So that's what I want for you if you are thinking about making this big change. There's another reason why this was kind of like screaming at me over the past couple of weeks and why I knew I had to record this episode. So I have another friend that I bumped into. She owns her own business. And I saw her and I said, how's business? And she said, it's not great right now. It's just not. And she's in the real estate business and she's just not having a great season. And she's going through some personal stuff as well that's, taking up a lot of her energy. And so while this is happening with her business, while it's slow, she's upgrading her computer systems. She's redoing the office. She's training new staff. And I said to her, well, that this is the calm before the good storm. Like this is, you are laying the foundation now for what's coming for you. And you don't know what that is yet. And at the same time, you're taking this time where things aren't great. You're not quite sure. There's a lot going on and you are doing the basic foundational work. This means to me, I know for a fact that this next level is coming, that what's next for you is coming. This is you and your subconscious or your energy or whatever you want to call it, laying that foundation, getting yourself ready on a personal level and a professional level. So oftentimes I have another client I want to talk to you about. There are so many examples of this. I'm really excited. This tells me that this is very real and very relevant. I have another client that I worked with. She's coming on the podcast in a couple of weeks. You will hear, we joke about this in the podcast. I already recorded it. And she worked in corporate America. She had a part-time business that she was building out. And one day she was so frustrated at work, she said, "I'm going to resign today." And I said, "Okay, if you want to resign today, let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you're going to do it. I have to tell you, as your coach, I strongly suggest that you wait," because she wasn't ready yet. She wasn't ready. She was doing a lot of great work. We were putting the pieces in place. She was almost there. And I didn't want her to leave her job while she wasn't prepared to really show up as her best and to really launch this business in a strategic, thorough, well thought out manner. And we laugh about it because I said, "Okay, all right, tell me why today." And she was frustrated, and it was, she was in a toxic situation, and she just couldn't take it anymore. And I understand that it's a terrible way to feel. I've been there, and she was able to wait like a week, which is good. That's good. I'll take the week because it gave her some more time to really think about it. I said, "Okay, what are you going to do about your health care? Let's talk about that. And what are you going to do about this? And what are you going to do about that?" And if you can wait and get that extra time in, it's very hard to go back once you make that leap of faith. And I used to love the expression leap and the net will appear. I don't love that expression anymore because yes, leap and maybe think about having the net already there. Maybe that's a better way to leap. Anyway, so back to how to know if you're ready. Here's how to know you're ready, because sometimes you are ready. You are ready. And while this episode is about leaping before you're ready, sometimes some of the people I work with, they're ready and they still won't leap because they're terrified. And I get that. Or they don't think they're ready and they need someone to tell them they're ready or show them they're ready or validate that they're ready. So here's 3 signs that you are ready. Number 1, this is for any kind of a big life change. Number one, not the number one, but one of the 3 is you've been thinking about it for a while. And I'm going to say 3 to 6 months. Major positive life disrupting decisions, you cannot make them on a whim. And you can start thinking about it and process it and work your way through it. However you do that, I would say 3 to 6 months minimum that you have been somehow, some way, in some manner thinking about this. I know for me, before I left my corporate job that I was in for 25 years, I started working with a coach probably about a year before I left. And it was really one of the best decisions of my life. There's no question. And if you've been with me for a while on this podcast, you've heard me say several times that this coach really, really changed my life. You have to get yourself mentally ready. You have to get yourself physically ready, the tools and the tactics, and lay those foundation. You want to try out a few different scenarios. It takes time. So 3 to 6 months. Number 2, and this is a tough one. This is a tough one. And I'm just gonna say what it is, and then we'll talk about why it's tough. You have mentally checked out of whatever the situation is that you're in, that you're planning on changing or that you want to change. This could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be, let's see what else, a relationship, a job, a career, a business. It could be any number of things. And there's a difference between actively thinking and working through your options and mentally checking out. If you are non-committal, if you really just don't care, if you've lost the ability to really care about what's happening around you, that's another way to know that you've mentally checked out. If you kind of stop volunteering for things. So let's say this is a job change. If you stop raising your hand for assignments, basically could even be your daily routine, right? If you're just going through the motions and phoning it in, you're there physically, but your soul has left the building. And only you know when that happens. So that is a sign that you are ready. And then finally, you start really seeing yourself in a different situation, in the situation it is that you want. Again, it could be the business that you want to build. It could be the next chapter of your career. It could be what your retirement looks like. It could be a really fun life project that you want to take on. It could be changing the way you live. It could be any of these things. You start to really, really see yourself in that new situation. And it's not like a wild, fantasy. I'm just going to go pour Mai Tais on a beach hut in Bali, right? That That has been in my mind before. It has. That's not realistic. Instead, I'm talking about that's a really interesting job. That's really interesting what that person does. I I bet I could do that. I bet that would be a good fit for me. Or, wow, it never occurred to me that I could build a business around XYZ, whatever it is, beekeeping. I'm just pulling that out of there, pulling it out of the air. Oh, y- I think I could make a living doing this. I could actually thrive. I could, whatever the case may be. You start really, really thinking about, I have the skills to do this. I think I could do it. That could be my life. That could be how I live. So those are the three signs. One, you've been thinking about it for a while. It's not a new idea. Two, you've mentally checked out of the current scenario. And three, you actually see yourself in this new life or in this new role. And it's not a wild fantasy. And let's touch back on the patience part again, because I want to make sure that we're spending a lot of time on that because I also have this conversation a lot with my one-on-one clients. Think about the pollen example. And I want to put the screens in. I want to get it perfect. I want it to look fantastic. It's for the best intentions and it's gonna be great. It's going to be great. And I will have to redo everything if I am not patient. And if you're thinking about a big, bold move, I promise you, you will have to redo it if you're not ready. And that's no fun for anyone. That's going to cost you time. That's going to cost you money. It may cost you relationship. It's going to cost you mental health. It's going to cost you energy. And I know it's hard. And I remember having this conversation with Crystal, who's coming on the podcast in a couple weeks. And I remember saying to her, I get it. I get it. If you can hold on and let's keep building this out, let's make sure that we are ready enough. And I'm a big believer in done is good enough. And let's make sure that we're at good enough, not at perfect, because then we'll never do it. Let's make sure we are at good enough so that we're successful. And we did, and she was. She waited, she hit the ground running. Now she's got this thriving business that you're going to learn all about. Anyway, that is my wish for you Thrivesters is that if you're thinking about it, keep thinking about it. There's no stopwatch. A big life disrupting decision should feel uncomfortable. It should make you nervous and it should require a considerable amount of planning. We have all the tools for that in the Thrive Hive. You know this if you're a member of the Hive. If you're not, this is my community. It's my email community. I send out a weekly email with tools and tactics and stories and anecdotes for how we can all thrive together. So with that, Thrivesters, I wish you a fantastic, I think this is going to be Memorial Day weekend. I wish you a fantastic weekend, a fantastic week, and nothing but sunshine, no pollen, and thriving like you mean it. So go out there and thrive like you mean it, Podsters. That's a wrap, Podsters. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Thrive Hive podcast. Hopefully, after listening today, you're feeling a little more fired up, a little inspired, or maybe a little more like yourself and like the person that you know you're meant to be. And if you loved today's episode, take a screenshot, share it on Instagram, tag me. I love to see where and when our Thrive Hive is growing. And if you're thinking about someone who you think should really listen to this episode, send it her way because we all deserve to go out and live that life we work so hard to build. Now, go thrive like you mean it.